Let's be honest. There are moments in life when a woman looks at you and time behaves differently. The room keeps moving. Conversations continue. But inside your chest, something tightens. Her eyes don't dart away. They don't soften out of politeness. They stay. And in that moment, you feel both noticed and exposed. Like she just read a page of you that was never meant to be public. That quiet discomfort most men feel in that moment is something they were never taught how to understand. Men are taught to chase signals, decode behavior, memorize tactics. But eye contact doesn't operate on the surface. It works underneath. When a woman holds your gaze, it's rarely accidental in the way men assume. To her, eyes aren't just receptors. They're filters. They assess safety before attraction, truth before charm, presence before confidence. And when she holds eye contact longer than social politeness allows, something has already shifted internally. She's momentarily lowered her self-protection to observe you more closely, not to judge your appearance, but to feel your emotional state. Here's what most men miss. That lo que sentí? Always desire. Sometimes, it's curiosity mixed with caution. Sometimes attraction mixed with fear. Sometimes it's a silent question she will never verbalize. Are you grounded, or are you performing? Women don't test men with words first. They test with presence, with stillness, with eyes that wait to see if you flinch, if you rush that moment, if you grin nervously, look away too fast, or try to compensate with performance. You answer her question in a way you didn't intend. You tell her that pressure makes you disappear. That being seen destabilizes you. To a woman, that doesn't register as shyness. It registers as unreliability. Not danger, but inconsistency. But if you stay, if you breathe, and let the moment exist without trying to control it, something changes. You start allowing, and that's rare. That's why it's powerful. A locked gaze is a psychological doorway. She's not inviting you inside yet. She asks, watching to see whether you recentered enough to stand at the threshold without forcing your way through. This is why many men do everything right and still feel invisible. They're busy acting instead of being. Women sense that disconnect instantly. And there's another layer most people never talk about. When a woman holds eye contact, she's also regulating herself. She's noticing her own pulse, her thoughts, her boundaries. If you remain calm and emotionally still, her body relaxes. If you tense, her nervous system mirrors it. Attraction doesn't grow in chaos. It grows in safety wrapped in mystery. That's why some men say very little and still leave an impression. It's not silence, it's containment. They don't leak nervous energy. They don't seek approval. They don't try to prove they deserve the look. And that communicates something words never could. So when a woman locks eyes with you, don't ask, "What should I do?" Ask something deeper. Can I stay present without shrinking or performing? Because the answer to that question determines what she's really perceiving. Eye contact isn't about confidence the way the internet sells it. It's not dominance, tricks, or who holds longer. For women, eye contact is emotional information. It tells her whether your inner state matches what you project outward. And women are extremely sensitive to incongruence, even when they can't explain it. She's reading microsignals you don't even realize you're sending: your breathing, jaw tension, the softness or rigidity behind your stare. She's sensing whether you're relaxed in yourself or bracing for rejection. That's why two men can look at her the same way and evoke completely different responses. One feels calming. The other feels heavy. One feels safe. The other feels like pressure. Here's a truth men rarely hear. Attraction often begins before desire, and eye contact is where that first spark is either allowed to exist or quietly shut down. When she holds your gaze, she's subconsciously asking, does this man feel emotionally steady enough for me to relax even for this moment? If your eyes feel hungry, rushed, or demanding, her body closes. Hunger feels like expectation. Expectation feels like obligation. And obligation suffocates attraction faster than rejection ever could. But when your gaze is grounded, present, without urgency, something different happens. She feels space. Permission to feel without being pushed. That's when curiosity warms into attraction without either of you saying a word. This is why men who are genuinely comfortable alone often have stronger eye contact. They're not using it to get something. They're not extracting validation, they're sharing a moment. and sharing is magnetic. There's also a dangerous misconception that breaking eye contact is weakness. It isn't. The real weakness is being unable to regulate yourself during it. Looking away calmly, without shame or tension, can increase intrigue. It signals self-trust. It tells her, I don't need to hold you to feel secure. That lands deeply on a woman's nervous system. Eye contact becomes uncomfortable when you're trying to control the outcome. When you silently hope, it turns into something more. Women feel that hope as pressure, not because it's wrong, but because it's uncontained. And here's the part that stings. When a woman locks eyes and then pulls away, it's not always rejection. Sometimes it's overload. You activated something real, and she needs distance to process it. Men misread this and either chase or shut down. Both confirm what she feared: emotional instability. A man who understands eye contact understands pacing. He doesn't escalate just because the moment felt intense. He lets intensity breathe. He trusts that what's real doesn't need to be forced or frozen. If you've ever wondered why certain moments felt electric and then disappeared, understand this. The eyes opened the door, but your emotional regulation decided whether it stayed open. Once you see that, you stop trying to win eye contact and start letting it work naturally. There's a reason eye contact feels heavy with some women and meaningless with others. It's not about beauty, it's about resonance. A sustained gaze is emotional exposure. For women, exposure carries risk. So when she holds eye contact, she's temporarily lowering a shield and watching what you do with that access. If you rush forward emotionally, she feels unsafe. If you retreat completely, she feels unseen. The balance lives in restraint, not coldness, not passivity. Restraint, the ability to feel something without immediately acting on it. That's why women often say they felt something but can't explain what. What they felt was regulation or the lack of it. A man who can feel attraction without being consumed by it signals emotional maturity, and emotional maturity is rarer and more seductive than confidence. When she holds your gaze, she's also testing how you handle ambiguity. Attraction lives in the unresolved space. If you can't tolerate not knowing what the look means, you'll rush to define it with words, jokes, or bravado, and that collapses the tension that made the moment powerful. Sometimes she locks eyes because she's unsure. You didn't fit neatly into a category. Calm. Unpredictability creates intrigue, but the moment you reduce her gaze to a formula, you stop being present. Women feel when they're being analyzed instead of met. A grounded man doesn't ask, "Does this mean she likes me?" He asks, "Can I stay with what I'm feeling?" His ability to remain with his own internal experience is what makes her feel safe staying with hers. If eye contact makes you anxious, it's not weakness, it's unfamiliarity. Many men only feel comfortable when performing. Eye contact strips that away. It asks you to exist without justification. Women are drawn to men who don't need to earn their presence. After eye contact, there's a quiet aftershock most men rush past. Women live there. Attraction isn't built in the stare, it's built in what follows: calmness, pacing, lack of urgency. Men sabotage themselves by confusing stillness with inaction. Real attraction doesn't vanish because you didn't rush. Rushing often signals insecurity, and insecurity registers as pressure. When she locks eyes, she's not asking you to do something, she's asking you to be something. Grounded, contained, emotionally present. If you hold that state afterward, you become memorable not for what you said, but for how she felt around you. Women are constantly scanning for emotional volatility. Men who swing from calm to eager trigger alarms. Consistency feels like trust before trust exists. That's why women say, "I don't know why, but I felt calm with him." Calm isn't boring. Calm is rare. You don't need constant eye contact to be impactful. Comfortably looking away, remaining at ease in your own world, signals wholeness. Let moments land, let them echo. Some women remember a man years later, not because of his looks or words, but because of how he handled silent moments. Eye contact creates emotional memory. Her nervous system takes a snapshot not of your face, but of how she felt with you. Attraction isn't built through noise. It's built through resonance. If after eye contact you remain steady, you allow the moment to replay without contamination. And continuity is deeply attractive. Eye contact isn't a green light. It's an invitation to remain grounded. The men who understand this aren't the loudest. They're the ones women remember. Every lingering gaze is a mere nod of her approval, but of your ability to stay present under emotional weight. Women detect emotional stability in seconds. The most powerful men don't try to impress. They simply remain centered. When she looks at you, she's assessing your ability to handle uncertainty. How you carry the aftershock matters more than the stare itself. Eye contact isn't about winning. It's about self-mastery, and women feel that mastery far more than charm. So, reflect on this. When pressure rises, can you stay grounded? Because presence plus emotional regulation minus neediness equals attraction. If this shifted how you see eye contact, share it. Subscribe for more truths most men were never taught.